is going to be the most likely the final drop. So what am I thinking is we're probably going to go up this week.
Welcome to Investing Insights with Ben. My name is Ben, 13 years in market and nearly 5 years trading full-time. My edge comes from cycles, spotting when stocks and crypto are primed for big moves. Combine technical analysis, order book flows, and even astrocycle studies to time entries and exits with precision. The goal? 5% to 10% portfolio gain per month consistently. And returns that beat broader market and even hedge funds. If you want timely strategies you can apply right now, hit like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss the next setup.
Welcome back to Investing Insights with Ben. This is Ben here again, bringing you some great stuff. I hope you guys are listening, you guys are sharing. If you like the content, join the Discord channel because we're getting some great members in the group that not only I'm sharing my opinions and dates with them, and they're actually sharing some really good alpha in the group as well. So in the description, you'll find our Discord channel group. All you need to do is you need to have some understanding of the technical analysis, and if you know fundamentals, that'll be even better. But let's get going. We're gonna start off with looking at our performance. How do we do the dates we have discussed? So let's start with Bitcoin. Previously, September 25th is one of the dates we decided we were going to buy it. That was right here. Worked out great. October 10th is when I said we will get out of the market. And this was given ahead of time to you guys. Then we said October 17th, I believe, is when we're going to buy right here. It was between 14th and 17th, I said. So let's say you bought in here and you averaged in here. So your average price is somewhere close to this. You could have gotten out. But the next date I gave was I said November 1st week is when I'm expecting a drop. But actually, I was a little off. It happened on October 28th. So October 28th was right here. It came down. Then November 3rd is when the big drop happened. So the date was actually correct, but it wasn't the main drop, like not the initial drop, it was the bigger drop that happened. So November 3rd was right here. So if you averaged in and buying in these dates, basically your average price is $110,000, then you could have gotten out before November 3rd. But if you didn't, you could average down. As I mentioned to you guys, November 9th is another date that's showing up on my charts. And November 9th is right here. And November 9th is when the rise, the prices started going back up again. Now, one of the important things to notice here is I told you guys there were some orders around this level, which is $98,000 level. Because number one, there's the 200-day moving average. In my last video, I mentioned 200-day moving average is going to be a support because there's orders stacked up at these between from $104 all the way down to these levels. So what did I do? I actually ended up selling my position. I sold it a little before November 3rd because the RSI started, the Stochastic RSI down here, if you see, it started giving us the warning on October 28th. So I got out of that position, took a little bit of profit. As I told you, I was at around $110,000 average. When the prices started coming back down, I averaged in from those orders, $104,000 to all the way down to $98,000. My average was close to $102,000, and I'm still holding on to that position. Now, November 9th, I mentioned, was going to be another pivotal date, which it turned out to be. That's when the move happened to the upside. Funny thing, on November 8th, I actually mentioned in the Discord channel, I said, guys, what I'm seeing with the BTC dominance and the USDT dominance is that we're going to have alts moving anytime now. And it was November 8th, November 9th, we started seeing the alts started running, not even caring about Bitcoin. That turned out to be a good date. But like I told you, until November 20th, we're not really going to have a big move up. It's not going to be start of a bull run. It's going to be like, it's going to seem like it is, but there could be bumps on the way. So don't get too excited, be watchful. What I'm doing is I am averaging in. I have long position open already, and any drops that are coming, which I'm going to tell you when it's going to come, be ready to buy and average into your positions. Now, when is that drop going to come? So as you can see, today is the 11th of November, and we're seeing the drop price of Bitcoin already at 104. Last night, it went to all the way 107.5. So is this initial drop? I think this might get reversed very quickly, but who knows and who cares? It's not going to go much below this 200-day moving average, so nothing to worry about. If you haven't bought, you will get chances along the way until November 20th. It doesn't have to be exactly November 20th, right around that time frame. So what am I thinking is we're probably going to go up this week. I don't want to be giving out exact dates because it might not turn out to be the exact date, but the next week, basically, there could be a drop. And then that drop is going to be the most likely the final drop. And then we're going to start seeing prices go up into December. And then December might have a small drop as well, which might be just insignificant. What it looks like, looking at cycles, is that we're going to see middle of November is then going to be the start of the next phase of Bitcoin and crypto going up. So I hope you guys are positioned. Again, I don't have to remind you guys, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. So please trade at your own risk and take this as education only. Let's take a look at our S&P 500 E-mini futures market. Futures is a little tricky compared to crypto, but let's see how we performed. So September 25th buy, where is it? So we've gone through this before, but let's just see September 25th buy, October 10th sell, and then I literally mentioned in that video that we're gonna dip into Monday. I still remember the date. We're gonna recover. I literally had a chart that looked like this. That we're gonna recover like literally next day, and it worked out just amazing stuff. And me and my friend, he trades like exactly everything with me. We like rode it all the way down and all the way back up. So it was just a great trade. Anyways, and then we said, okay, same thing happened basically. We were expecting the first week or November 3rd to be the drop. It turned out to be the drop, but it actually started a little before. So I was off by a little bit, but the major drop started on November 3rd. And then look at November 7th, November 9th is right here, Sunday. So it actually reversed on Friday, November 7th. I had called November 9th, which was a Sunday, but even if you enter here, that's not bad. If you're trading futures, that's a really good gain on this. What is the expectation going forward? Stocks are not really out of the woods yet. We're going to see, again, like similar to crypto, this week's going to be positive, and then next week we could see a drop again into the 20th. Then we're going to go into December, and then December can see another drop, and then that should be around the 7th to 10th of December is going to be possibly the bottom. We're going to see the Santa rally, both in crypto and stocks. So if there's any chop, just be prepared for it and make sure you guys are taking advantage of these dates. I will give you exact dates in December. I've actually been asked, so I want to go over this real quick. I've been asked about what my opinion is about crypto bull market. Are we over with crypto bull market? Are we going to have a lot of the traders, a lot of the cyclists, they're calling for Bitcoin and crypto to go into December, and December is going to be the top. Some are even saying that we're going to have extended season and we're going to go into mid next year, and that's going to be the top. What is my opinion? There's been a few of my Discord members that have asked me this question. So here's what I think. The dates, near term November and December dates, I've already told you. I do think that there's going to be a bull run in December going into January. So it's not going to end in December. It could go into January. It possibly can go into middle to end of January. And then after January, we're going to see a drop. Now, in cycles, I'm seeing two things. From January into February, into early March, there's a drop. And then from March to April, May, there's another phase up. Now, cycles don't tell you if that phase is going to be a lower high or a higher high. So it's impossible for you to sit here in November and tell if next May is going to be a lower high or higher high. But I can tell you, my feeling right now is that that's going to be a lower high. And that could be like a dead cat bounce. But I don't want to call for that because it's unnecessary. When we get closer to it, when we're in January, I'll tell you what I feel. I'll tell you what the market is going to do, what I'm seeing in cycles, what I'm seeing in fundamentals, and the stock market and overall macro will give us a bigger picture at that time as well. So for now, let's prepare for January high. And what I'm doing is the bigger cycles have calling for a down phase anytime now. And the daily cycles, the shorter term cycles, they're calling for a top in January. And said there could be another top and it could be lower high in May or April, May, June, whatever, in that time frame. But the more important thing that I am doing is I'm actually not holding on to a large hodl positions. I'm actually trading at this point. So take your positions, buy it in, let's say you bought it in November, hold it into January, and then sell. Don't go through that drop, because if that drop is a major drop, then you don't want to lose 30%, 50%, 40%. I don't know how big that drop's going to be, but if that turns out to be a 40% drop, you don't want to have to ride through that. That's my plan. You guys make your own plan. I just wanted to share that. Now let's look at some of the other positions. We marked these last time. This was, again, some of the positions we discussed, the Tau and Zcash. And here's Tau. We bought it on November 25th, right around here. We sold it on October 10th, which was here, and there was actually a big drop, and it recovered right away too, and went up above our exit. But then we bought it back on October 17th, and I actually took that line off, but I literally drew a line right here. I said this price is going to go near this, and that's when I am going to take profits, which is what I exactly did. And I think we sold it at about 450-ish, 450. Yeah, so a little below this line. That's where we sold our position. I think it was because of these two pivots. It was towards the end of October we sold this position. Now, look at, we bought back here again, which was November. So November 3rd, I mentioned this is November 3rd. Beautiful. You could have held it till this date and made more money than I did. November 9th is right here, literally the bottom. And I mean, it's still, the price is very close to the bottom. So you could definitely average. It could still go lower than this. I do believe it might actually end up going lower than 350. It could go to 330-ish. If you draw this line, yeah, I don't think it's going to go to that level, but who knows? Maybe it will. But there's different ways to draw these lines, and you could see where these pivots are. So it could go somewhere close to this. So as you see, I have alarm set here too. So if it goes to that 330 level, 318 level, I'll be adding to my position. So like I said, I'm buying the dips. If the price doesn't do, like I said, this week's going to be a positive week. And if Tau just ends up going sideways this week, and next week into 20th, it does something like this, that'd be a great buying opportunity. But I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. It could just start going up and it'll come back down to $400 level. So anyways, the date's working out great as always. Here's a Zcash. Beautiful, beautiful chart. We bought here, we sold here, we bought here again. And November 3rd is right here. You could have sold it here and you would have regretted it because it just kept going up. So no problem. I actually did sell here. So I kept getting called from my friends like, oh man, we sold it. Look at what the price is. It went to like 700 plus, 738, 740. And they were asking me if I'm buying it. And I said, no, I am not going to buy. It's just not, you actually could have, like, if you look at the Stochastic RSI, I missed this, but there was a buying opportunity right here. So you could have bought it here and you could have sold it when it's calling right here because of the Stochastic RSI on a 4-hour time frame. But like, look at the risk. You're trying to make 10% on a token that when it drops, it literally within a day, it goes down 30%. So the risk to reward is not in your favor. I will not be buying this until it comes back to an entry. If on November 28th, it comes down to $300 level, something, I don't know. I haven't done much work on this, but on November 20th, if it is down into some good levels, like right here, there's a good level. You can also turn on your, I think daily is too far off, but yeah, look at the 21 SMA is at 340. It might go to 350 by that time, but if it is at that level, and let's set the alarm. So if the price goes to 21 SMA daily, then give us an alarm. Not sure. Okay. So if it touches this, the more important thing is if it touches this this week, then you might not want to take that entry. But if it touches into November 20th, that'll be a great sign. When there's confluence on cycles and technical analysis, that's a great sign that you want to be buying. That's a strong signal. That's how I trade. I hope you guys trade as well. And the second thing is you can go onto 4-hour time frame and then you start seeing this turning around. That's when you can get in. Other than that, I haven't actually looked at gold, but as expected, we're just getting a bounce back. Gold is not going to perform well for next several months. Probably take what I said about crypto and flip it. And the selling dates of the longer term, the selling date. So end of January, early February, when the crypto market tops is actually going to be a good buying opportunity for gold. I'm going to start averaging from that time frame into probably around May, June time frame. Every drop in gold is going to be a buy for me. And then I'm going to hold that for forever. I plan on buying every major dip in gold and hold it for, I don't know when I'm going to sell it. So it's a long-term play. It's a wealth building play. You have to understand one thing. The cash in bank is getting depreciated. The Fed keep printing money at 10, 12% a year. So if you are gaining 10% gains on something, you're just basically breaking even. So the real wealth is made when you're actually outperforming by more than 10%. But if you're holding cash, that's not going to help you because cash is getting devalued. As they keep printing more and more money, your cash is getting devalued. So you have to have assets, stocks, crypto, Bitcoin, gold, stuff that actually appreciates in value. And if you're keeping dollars in your bank, everything you're buying with those dollars is going to be more and more expensive over time. So dollars in bank is no for me, and dollars in gold, silver, Bitcoin, stocks, that's how you actually survive these days. But take care, guys. Love you all. I hope you guys make good money. That wraps up this episode of Investing Insights with Ben. Remember, timing is everything. Edge comes from discipline, not luck. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss the setup that can move your portfolio.